Hola a toda nuestra audiencia. Estamos el día de hoy con Rob Gaiser. Él es director de operaciones en Saint-Gobain. Y el día de hoy vamos a platicar con él en relación al proceso de planeación estratégica que están llevando y que justamente es el motivo de su visita en México. Robert tiene experiencia en la empresa en este tipo de actividad y el día de hoy nos va a compartir en relación a cómo llevar este proceso. Robert, thank you very much for your time for this interview. We want to listen to you about how are the best practices in order to have a effective strategic planning activity in an organization like this one. We know that Saint-Gobain is very huge. So, in your opinion, in your mind, what's the best way to make sure a good or effective strategic planning activity?
Well, you know, I don't always think that there's a best way to do it because we tend to spend a lot of time trying to gather a lot of information from the team. We're small. Well, we're a $200 million business within Saint-Gobain. So Saint-Gobain is a huge company, and it's quite. We fight a little bit for what we need. One of the nice things about this business is that we're diversified. It's also not the easiest thing to do from a strategic plan standpoint because being diversified means you have to put a little bit here, a little bit there, and a little bit here. And so what has really caused us a lot of actually headache is our organization really has embraced the strategic planning process and the idea generation, and we put a lot of front end activity on it. So our guys can think up way more than we can actually do. And what winds up happening is we have to take the week like we're doing this week to try to sort everything out and say, okay, these are the top ones that we're doing, and then everything else has to be behind. But so diversity is a great thing, especially when you have the pandemic or when you have when you have a tough market one year and a strong market another. But it's also a challenging thing when you're trying to do strategic planning because there are some that you inherently have to spend more money on to capture the growth that is actually happening in this time. And so we look at a number of different things. We have what we call triads. Sometimes 3 or 4 people will be involved, but typically what we call our capture teams, which are sales and marketing team. Somebody from that is a business manager usually. We also have our operations segment leader, and we have an R&D platform leader. Those 3 are usually charged with coming up with the market or the segment strategy for that product line or part that we make, and then we have to digest all that and figure out, okay, what's more important, space or energy, okay, or hydrogen. You know, they're 2 very strong markets, right? And so, which one do we have to put the money into now, and which one can we just start developing later? And then, oh, by the way, there's this Saint-Gobain who says, oh, you can only spend this much, you know. One thing I do like about Saint-Gobain, though, is that if we go to them with a good project, a good plan, they very seldom turn it down. I've never been turned down personally, but it does happen.
Got it. Excellent. Good point on this activity, Rob. Another question related on this same stuff. How do you consider it is the best way to get the right people involved on this? You already mentioned that this is not something related to 1 or 2 persons on this process. What would be then the best way to involve the right people in this process and not to have them just at the beginning and days later have them lost in the middle?
Well, the people have to implement it. They have to believe in it, right? So you need to have the people involved in the process.
Yes.
I've been involved in many strategic plans that get done by 4 or 5 people at the top level. and get presented and then put on a shelf. And then never to be seen again until the following year when you have to redo the plan, and it's something different again. It's not usually the same thing. So I've been in good strategic planning processes, and I've been in top-down ones. And so I think if you get the teams involved, like I said earlier, we have usually a team to get it done, to implement. Okay, there's much better ideas coming out of people below us than there is coming out of people who are sitting in the ivory tower, right? So bringing all the ideas up here, then saying, okay, these are the ones we're going to focus on, and then we have to go focus on them. Then you have people who can implement, and there's people who can think, and there's people who really are good at implementing. Okay, and we have a little bit of both. I tend to be the implementer more than the thinker,
Okay.
But we definitely have that need to get those people involved. So each site understands what their must-win battles are. So I think that overall, the way we try to do it, at least our business tries to do it, is bubble it up from the bottom. Okay, they understand inherently that there are going to be things that can't be done. And then eventually we bring it back down to them, given priorities, and say, okay, if we have the ability to do these other things, we'll do it. But they're not the priority at this point. And then that's when the implementers have to focus. Because I've been, like I said, when you shelve the plan, and I've also been in the one where they say everything is priority number one. Tell the implementer that, and he's not going to get anything done.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah. So
it's a good point, and that happens for sure. Definitely. Rob, the last question, and pretty much related, your position, which I understand is global position. Mm-hmm. So what's been the situation of having this intercultural situation? Because you're here now in Mexico, mm-hmm. but also you've been in the U.S. and French and in other countries. So what's been this situation of intercultural activity?
Well, we worked very hard with our teams to build a collaborative environment, not just the site, but the whole business. Okay, so we like to think that even though the site here in Saltillo, for instance, is, their system is the site, really the business is their whole system, right? And so they really need to collaborate with the other businesses. We rely on certain processes in this facility that other people don't, that other people rely on in the other mm-hmm. facilities, right? So there's a lot of collaboration that has to happen. The pandemic really made us go the opposite way. Everybody became just this very, focused, I'm the only one who's in this business kind of mode, right? And now we're trying to, now that the pandemic's over, and we're trying to get back to the old collaborating of the teams. So our business has 17 facilities throughout the world, okay, and 13 of them are actually manufacturing sites, and then there's some resale sites. But reality is that trying to keep up with all these guys is quite difficult. I mean, everybody's trying to do something, to help the business, help the overall business and their overall site. So, again, we talked about the strategic planning process. Without a good communication as what the real priorities are, the sites will go off and do things to make money. That's what they're supposed to do, right?
Yes, for sure.
So the strategic planning process is supposed to make money too. So that they'll go out and do it. They're much more tactical at what they're doing, but it's great. But I love the multicultural aspect of our job. I don't necessarily love being in Mexico one week and California the next, and China the next. And I haven't been to China in a while. But that's the way our business is set up. And our customers are everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, and so we've done a really good job at trying to bring our production closer to where our customers are. So we have, the facilities in Asia are there not to service the U.S., not to service Europe, to service Asia, okay? And the European facilities are servicing Europe. Yes, there's a lot of intercompany stuff that happens to just support from a different product line or whatnot, but the base product line there is in the country that it's supposed to be. So we really try to not go to a country just because it's low cost or it supports. Now Mexico's a little bit slightly different, and so are some of the European countries where, North America is North America, and we can get stuff back and forth, and so we have a lot of our product here made for the United States, but that was to create a base, and then there's a Mexican team too, and there's Mexican customers, and there are some that we've grown quite well since we've been here. So each site has a great spirit. Okay, they're all different, but they're all very family oriented. Good. And I came here today. I built this plant. Okay, in 2008, I was the guy who actually came and was the plant manager of dirt. Okay, all I did was come here to look at dirt, and we put this plant in place. And I came here today, and I saw the first employee who we hired, first manufacturing employee we hired, and the first supervisors that we hired in the business, and having that relationship, it's not. Just knowing that those guys are there and those guys are still here from 2000 and 2008, it makes our business stronger, and I love that aspect of it. I've been with the company for 31 years. Other people have been with the company 15, 20 here in Saltillo. No, 15 because that's as old as it is. But we've all been working together, and we know our strengths and our weaknesses, so we tend to collaborate between us. Okay, so when I can speak for the operations team, I've got guys who are really good people who are in quality that we leverage for quality for the worldwide organization. So they're not in charge of the worldwide organization, but they're known as experts in this worldwide organization. Okay, or supply chain. The supply chain guys are the planning guys that are helping people in install their ERP systems and whatnot with each other. And so they're going from plant to plant, helping them install or put their ERP systems or get the ERP systems up to date. So the spirit in our business is fantastic, and it's all because of the culture. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't have all the same types of people. They all have to be different, and you can use them all in different ways. So, and our team has a strength. This site here, this is probably one of our best WCMs, like world-class manufacturing sites. Okay, and we leverage these guys from here. We bring them to the U.S. or we'll bring them to a guy or two to Europe to help install some of the best practices that we do here, and vice versa. So it was a little bit more challenging when we had to do it, by video, by Teams meetings. But even during the Teams meetings, we were able to take the video, the FaceTime cameras, and walk around and do tours of the facility and help each other out with things. And I've got this problem. Yeah, take your phone out there. Let's see what's going on. And we just do a tour so we can all see what the new stuff is that's going in place. And people in our business are extremely proud. So it's really actually fun.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's fun. So the multi dimensional cultural dimension is really it's tricky because the time zones and the languages, but at the end of the day, it's fun. It's fun to get different perspectives from
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Rob. Definitely your experience and your sharing for all of our audience is going to be very valuable for all of us. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Gracias a la audiencia por prestar atención. Robert Gaiser, director de Operaciones Global para Saint-Gobain, compartió con nosotros prácticas interesantes en el tema de planeación estratégica. Gracias.